welcome.
It's gonna dig it outside.
So we're so incredibly thrilled to have you here today. The new movie opens on November 22nd. It is thought to be the most anticipated movie of the year and probably the highest grossing film of all time, so you must be really excited to get started on that. What we've done here is we posted a Tumblr and we asked many of your fans to post questions. And so we will take some questions from the audience later today, but to start with, we have questions from Tumblr. So we'll go ahead and, without further ado, get started. The Darjeeling username asked, "Hey Jennifer, are you aware of the fact that you are pretty much the queen of Tumblr? Many blogs here are dedicated to your awesomeness, and so I felt that you needed to know that. Thank you."
Thanks. No, I didn't. I've never gotten on Tumblr and looked myself up, but I will do that later. I'm kidding, I won't. That's not good for me.
And Where Are the Mockingjays asked, "Jen, there are tons of quotes from you, there are all over Tumblr, from people when they first met you, quoting what you said. Do you remember what you said when you first met Frances?"
I apologize for being late, I think, because I just imagined our breakfast being at a completely different restaurant and didn't double check on my schedule. I just drove to a different restaurant.
Yeah, and then you spat egg in my mouth.
And then I spit egg in his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, typical first meeting.
What's the story behind that?
Nothing, I just was talking with my mouth full and it landed. I watched it fly out. And this is my first time meeting my new boss, and I just watched this egg, and it was like slow motion. I was like, no! And I saw it land on his lip, and he went, "Is it on my mouth?" I was like, "Yes."
Well, I was going to ask if you remember when you met Jennifer, but clearly you do. So, the film was shot on site in Atlanta and Hawaii. Tell us about what it was like. Tell us about the different locations.
Oh, Hawaii is amazing. That is the only problem with filming in Hawaii is you feel like work is impeding on your vacation. Every time I'm at work, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I need to, but it was, it's the most beautiful place in the world.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I mean, Atlanta was pretty nice too. I mean, the only issue we had there really was that Atlanta is built around the railroads. So pretty much every location we had train tracks, either subways and or trains rushing by all the time, all day long. And so we were constantly having to cut and stop shooting to let trains go by, or else all the sound would get messed up. But
yeah, and Frances
really nice
heard
locations.
from me on that.
Yes.
It used to drive me crazy.
And Sherlock Ox asked, "Frances, from the trailers, this film looks absolutely incredible and true to the book. Is there anything that you couldn't put into the film that you wish you could have?"
No, I think we really got a lot in there. I mean, we worked really closely with the author of the books, and I think we have kind of all the tentpole moments from the books and all the really memorable scenes and sequences. I'm really pleased with the amount we were able to get into this movie. I think fans are going to be really, really happy about it.
And Jennifer, how about you? Are there any scenes that you wish you could have included, or wish would have been that are in the books?
No, I don't think so. I agree with Frances. And also, what's interesting is there's even added stuff, because in the book it's Katniss's first person. She's narrating, so there's a lot of stuff that you hear about, but you don't see it because she's just talking about it in the book. So for our audience, we need to just show them. So there were lots of interesting, really incredible scenes added with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Donald Sutherland. I almost forgot his name for a second because I'm nervous, sorry. Yeah, so that was incredible.
And Tumblr user Because Jennifer asked, "Jennifer, what was your favorite food that you tried in Hawaii?"
I can only think of the foods that I did not want to try and did try in Hawaii. Spam sushi,
Yes.
which he liked.
Yes.
I didn't want to try. And then he made me eat a raw fish, like a real fish that was cut open, and I had to eat it, and I was getting scales in my mouth, and it was the most awful experience of my life. But the mojitos at my hotel were great.
So, Frances, do you have the spam sushi was as good as it?
I'd say the spam sushi was, yeah. I enjoyed that stuff.
Yeah, you did. Every time it came out, he was eating it. Oof.
User Hey Don't You Worry asked, "For both of you, what was the funniest moment on set?"
God.
The funniest moment?
Oh.
I don't know. There was a lot of them. I mean, Jen's falling all the time,
butt.
so.
me
The
getting me getting Sam's
Oh,
trident.
yeah,
We were in
yeah.
the middle of doing this scene with the monkeys, so we're all like fighting these imaginary monkeys. It's like choreographed, not a dance, a fight. and all of a sudden in the middle of the scene, I just went, ah! It was like something just whipped my butt, and everybody was like, nothing happened. Like it was probably just a Charlie horse. And I was like, I know what something slapped my butt. And so we're like watching playback. We can't find it. I've got a red mark on my butt, and Josh is telling me that it's the ancient spirits, and I'm believing it. And yeah, and then we slowed down, and we saw that the end of Sam's trident, when he was spinning it, just like flew off and just whacked me in the butt, going like 100 miles an hour. That was funny.
Yeah, but you thought it was some like prehistoric bug or something that had bitten
Yeah,
you.
well, I was paranoid about. I'm always paranoid. I'm paranoid about bugs, especially in Hawaii. I cried over a spider. Yeah. There's a long story about why I cried, though, and it's not that crazy. You would have cried too.
And River Snogs asks, Jennifer, did you mime the scene when you ran into the invisible barrier in the Jabberjay scene, or did they actually have something there? So he says, because of it's the former, you're an awesome mime.
Oh, yeah, I mimed that. I'm also mime. That's cool.
So Catching Fire is incredibly visually stunning. Can you tell us a little bit more about building the world for your fans? So they're going to show a little bit of the trailer here, just so we get a sense of the visuals. But I think that when you look at how to create this world that is so visually rich, that so many people had read about all over the world, it must be really daunting. But when you look at stepping into that world for a moment and really making it feel so real, there's all kinds of different elements. One of which is the fashion. We talked a little bit upstairs about the Capital Couture site on Tumblr. And the Fault in our Mockingjay asks, which dress was worse to walk in, your Oscars dress or Katniss's wedding dress?
I fell in both, so I can't really decide. Yeah, I think my wedding dress was a lot more uncomfortable.
We're showing them both here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was very, and that silver thing, the scratches. If you ever want to get that dress, make sure they don't get that dress. That would be ridiculous.
And one question they wanted to ask is, if you could keep one thing from the Catching Fire set, what would it be?
From the Catching Fire set. Well,
I like Sam's trident. I like Finnick's trident. That was a really cool weapon. I would probably keep Finnick's trident.
Yeah. Well, oh, and the necklace that.
With a locket?
Yeah, the locket's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
And Francis, because Jennifer asks, since this film is so intricate, is there any particular scene that we should look out and try and spot particular details in?
Particular details? Well, I think if you're going to look at details, I mean, one of the fun scenes would be there's a party very early on in the Victory Tour where Katniss and Peeta go to Snow's mansion, and Trish Somerville, our costume designer, just did an amazing job costuming all the partygoers, the Capitol citizens. And so there's just a lot of detail work because just everybody had their own really super individual style, and so there's a lot of detail in the crowds there. So I think that would be a fun scene to take a look out for.
Cool. And well, back on the topic of archery, Random Picks from My3Ds asks, Jennifer, how good exactly are you at using a bow and arrow?
She's really good.
No.
She is. She's really good.
Did you take lessons?
I did. Well, I mean, it's kind of impossible. I was trained by an Olympian, so it was kind of like I can't brag about it because it's anybody could be good at it if you do it for 3 years and have really great instructors. But yeah, I'm not bad. I'm not bad. Hit 3 bullseyes at my last one.
She can double fire, by the way.
That's- I
So
was
she's
waiting
being a
for you
little
to say
humble.
the
She can
rapid
double
fire
fire.
thing.
She can pull 2 arrows out at once, and as she strings one up, she's holding another. She can shoot, get a bullseye,
And I hit a double
restring,
bullseye.
set the next one, get
Yeah.
another bullseye. She can do
did.
that.
I can't do
It's
that
pretty
like
impressive.
whenever I want,
She's being
but sometimes
humble.
it does happen.
Do we have any double bullseyes today?
I saw you guys today. I was watching you. And
The
I was
folks here at Yahoo got to do some
Yeah.
archery.
People were really good.
So, a lot of the fans were incredibly imaginative and wanted to know what the world would be like if it were real. And so, McConaughey asks, Francis, if you were entered into the Hunger Games, what would be your plan of action? Would you be like me and hide in the lake and do your best walrus impression to go unnoticed? Or would you be more courageous and try and win through force?
No, I would definitely hide. I think there's a couple of characters that had won previous games. They're called the Morphlings, for those that know the books. And I think I would follow their route. And that's basically, they just kind of hid until everybody else was dead. And they kind of won that way. I think that's probably my route. That's my guess. I'm a big chicken.
And then the next question is, hey Jen, if Panem was real, would you prefer to live in the districts or be a capital citizen?
I think I'd probably go kind of in the middle, maybe do like District 2, so I'm not like a complete a-hole by living in the capital, but I also get nice things. Or District 4, because then there's lots of water. I do like water, so that could be nice. Yeah, maybe an early district person.
And of all the cast members, who would get the most sponsors?
Of all the cast members, probably Liam, because he's huge.
What does that have to do with getting a sponsor?
With getting a sponsor?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Huge?
just feel like I would.
Oh, you mean because he'd be good? I guess he could be.
Yeah,
a,
it would
he
just
could
be
a
like
favorite.
that guy's huge. I
Yeah.
think he'll survive.
Yeah.
But Josh is very cunning
Yeah.
and fast and a great dancer.
Yeah.
And the next question is for Francis. If you were to create Catching Fire from another character's perspective rather than Katniss's, which would you choose?
I think I'd probably choose somebody like Effie. I just think Effie is such an interesting, odd, quirky character. I think it'd be really interesting to see the story through her eyes as well.
Cool. So the other topic that a lot of people touched on was there were a lot of different personal aspects. We even had a marriage proposal for Francis come in through Tumblr yesterday.
Whoa.
But moving over into the personal arena, Smiley Eber Dreams asked, Jennifer, who was your teen crush?
My teen crush, Justin Timberlake. 90s Justin Timberlake, though. Like, NSYNC Justin Timberlake. I remember having, like, when I bought the NSYNC CD and I was listening to it and I was flipping through the, like, you know, remember how CDs had the, like, pull-out picture things? And I was, like, getting so overwhelmed with, like, hormones that I almost threw up. And, yeah, definitely Justin Timberlake. Or the Lawrence brothers. Does anybody remember from Boy Meets World? And, yeah. And a little bit of Kirk Cameron. Early Kirk Cameron.
I think that was too early for you. But May Salid asks, how many different accents can you speak in?
Me?
Yeah.
Accents?
Accents.
I don't. Well, recently we've taken up the German accent at
Oh yeah,
work.
I do. You have your Minnesota accent.
And I've got
too.
my Minnesota. Oh, I can speak in accents.
Yeah, you
How
can.
did she know that? I can't do that very good, but I like Minnesota, and I can't do accents. I
Yeah.
can't.
We're going to open it up to audience questions in a minute. So there are microphones here in the audience. If you have a question for Jennifer or Francis, you can go ahead and move to the microphones. But I'll direct this to both of you. There's a question of how have the fans of the Hunger Games trilogy changed your lives? And I have to imagine it's been, to be a part of the movies has really probably changed how a lot of people interact with you. But what are some of the big things ways that fans have impacted you?
It really changes when you're doing a movie. It's kind of a powerful thing when there's normally, you make a movie and then it comes out and some people watch it. I've never been a part of something that has such a powerful fan base, and it really makes you kind of appreciate it in a new light. When you're on set and when you get excited about something, you can kind of like see how the fans will see it and the things that they get excited about. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like and it's, I don't know, like they make you appreciate it in a different kind of light. And it's obviously wonderful when somebody likes what you're doing, but they can be scary.
For me, I have to say it's pretty early days because none of the fans have seen my movie yet. So really, I felt tons of support from the positivity that I've received in terms of what they've seen in trailers and advertising and all that kind of stuff. But it's still pretty early, so I think we'll see when they see the movie.
Well, and this is a question from me, which is, here at Yahoo, we create a lot of products. And creating a movie is creating a product. And we talked upstairs, which I thought was really fascinating, about some of the timelines. When did you sign on to the movie? When did you shoot it, edit it? Now marketing the film and getting ready for the next films. Can you guys give us a little bit of a sense of some of the behind the scenes of the actual creating the movie and what the timeline and process looks like, feels like?
Sure. Yeah, I came on the movie in April, and this was a pretty quick one. So I came on the movie in April of last year, and got the job very, very quickly, and immediately went into pre-production. And we started shooting about 20 weeks later. So we started in September, finished most of principal photography by Christmas. We owed a couple of weeks, which we did in spring. And then the movie was done, done by the end of August. But because we're doing the sequels, we had already started prepping the sequels. And so I was already in Atlanta prepping those when Catching Fire finished. And we've already shot 5 weeks of the next movies that we're now sort of taking a break from to do the publicity. So it's all very sort of fast and furious, but it's a lot of fun.
Cool. And we're going to go ahead and give Yahoos a chance to ask questions. Do we have any questions from the audience? There's some microphones up here. We can bring the microphones to you. Yeah.
Hi, I think a lot of us are wondering what inspired your pixie cut, and if that means there's no more braid in upcoming movies.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't how Katniss is going to look in the next movies, don't worry. No, I'm wearing a wig, so I don't know, I cut it earlier, and it was just kind of like here, and then it grew to that awkward, gross length, and I just kept putting it back in a bun, and I was like, well, I don't want to do this, so I just cut it off. Not a very exciting story behind it.
You're brave. I wouldn't do it.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, it was just like, it couldn't get any uglier, so.
Other questions?
I do like the look. It's really nice. So I have a question. So if you weren't an actress, what would you have been inspired to be?
I actually just got asked this yesterday, and I said hotel maid because I really like to clean and I like going through people's stuff. And it's like new people every day. But I've always been really, this isn't realistic because I'm too, but I've always loved like medicine and the human body and everything gross. So I would like to think that I could be like a nurse or a doctor. I just don't think I would ever be able to make it through school. But if I could just show up to a hospital and work, then definitely a doctor. Yeah.
Hi. This question is actually from my daughter. She's a huge fan of you. So it's not mine.
Okay.
So she has a very particular question. I'm reading it out. Having experienced body image criticism in Hollywood, what is your advice to young girls dealing with the same treatment from their peers and response to those who judge others based on appearances?
Well, screw those people. No, I mean, oh, thanks. No. Yeah, I mean, it's something that everybody experienced. I experienced it in school before I was it's just, the world has a certain idea of, we see this airbrushed perfect model, and then if you don't look like that, and it's just too easy for people, and then I've got a million ideas coming at the same time, but you just have to look past it. You look how you look and be comfortable. Like, what are you gonna do? Be hungry every single day to make other people happy? That's just dumb. And the shows like the Fashion Police and things like that are just showing these generations of young people to judge people based on things that, they put values in all the things that are wrong, and that it's okay to just point at people and call them ugly and call them fat, and they call it fun and welcome to the real world. And it's like, that shouldn't be the real world. It's gonna keep being the real world if we keep it that way. It's not until we stop treating each other like that and just stop calling each other fat and stop with these unrealistic expectations for women. It's disappointing that the media keeps it alive and fuels that fire. It's something that really bothers me. because I love to eat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Most of the work that you've done has been very dramatic. You clearly have a gift for comedy. When will we see you in something amazingly funny besides Saturday Night Live?
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I haven't like read. I considered Silver Linings. I was like, I did a comedy. I don't know. I haven't read. You know, I'm not against comedy by any means. I just haven't read the one yet. But I will. I hope to. Thank you.
How do each of you pick the films? So, I mean, when you think about doing a film, obviously The Hunger Games and Catching Fire is one of are some of the things that attracted you. But what do you look for as a director or as an actress in a film?
I mean, I look for a bunch of things. One is I look for the idea underneath the film and the themes and what it's really about. I look to see if there's, you know, really interesting and compelling characters and a good plot. But one of the things that I really love to do as well is kind of build worlds. And so, you know, I think film is a visual medium, and I like telling stories in a visual way. And so the world's got to be an interesting place to build. And, you know, that's why, you know, this kind of movie, Catching Fire, and these stories are just, you know, are just full of sort of rich opportunities visually.
That was a great answer. Well, I wish I didn't have to go after you. I don't ever look for anything specific in scripts. I just kind of, I'm really annoying with how I choose things, because it's really like a feeling, which just sounds stupid, but sometimes I've read scripts before that have just recently I read a script that I was sobbing. I've never been so moved by a story, and I thought it was the most beautiful, amazing story, and I just couldn't wait for this movie to get made so that the world could see it, but I just wasn't her. I wasn't the character, and I couldn't. And I also had an experience once where I read a script and I loved it, but I couldn't stop picturing Amanda Seyfried. And so I emailed the people and I was like, you gotta hire Amanda Seyfried for this. I couldn't stop picturing it. So a lot of it is the things that he said. You want to be a part of a good film and you want to make a good movie, but there's also a huge emotional component for me that I don't know how to describe it. It's just kind of sometimes something clicks, and I feel like that person does in a weird way exist in me, and it sounds like a stupid thing to say, but and sometimes it just doesn't, and sometimes I can read a character and absolutely love her, but I know that I could never, I'm not her or something, I don't know.
Cool. Other questions?
Hi. So now that you've won an Academy Award, do you feel like it's changing what your goals are? I mean, where do you feel you'll be in 5 years?
No, it hasn't really changed anything. I'm so oblivious and stubborn. No, I that was just kind of like things like that are like it's a beautiful gift. It's a huge honor, and I'm so thankful for it. But it's kind of one of those things that you accept and you're grateful for, and then you know put it behind you, or you know on my mother's piano in Kentucky, and then you just move forward. And it hasn't really changed. If anything, it's just made me feel like you need to calm down and go on a vacation. But no, it hasn't really changed anything.
But I mean, do you still just see yourself in acting and just like really wanting to go deeper into that, or are you interested in other aspects of filmmaking, or like, you know, cooking or writing or anything else?
This is, you just want me to cook for you. Is that what this is about? Are you interested in cooking? No, I mean, I would love to, because I just love filmmaking, and I would love to say that there are a million things that I would love to be a part of, but I don't know if I would be any good at them, because I don't know how this is just I don't know if I would be good at producing because I'm so in my head about it. We talk about this all the time. We're like, I just feel, but I'm so bad at verbalizing things, and I don't think I'd be good at that kind of. I'm worried about. I don't know. I'd like to, but I don't know if I'd be good at them. But I know by no means ever felt like, oh, I got this. All right, on to bigger, better things. It was just kind of like, ooh, nice. But it didn't change anything, like as far as goals go. Didn't make me want to cook anymore.
Hi. First of all, I'm a huge fan, so thank you for coming here today.
Oh,
it's really
thanks.
cool. And second, I was just wondering what your favorite mobile app was. Actually, both of you.
I don't even know what really apps are.
Well, first of all, what kind of phones do you have?
I have an iPhone, but I can't. All I do is text and call on it. I did download a car game called Asphalt 8. But I
I
haven't
was gonna
played
say
it.
Tiny Wings. I think Tiny Wings. I love Tiny Wings. The games.
I loved Temple Run
Yeah.
when that first came out, but I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm really quite stupid when it comes to technology.
We'll be sure to install the Yahoo
Yeah.
app and the Yahoo Weather app before you guys
You could have
leave.
seen me upstairs when they were showing me like all these maps. I was just like all these apps, and I was like, that looks so cool. I have no idea how to use it. Show me. I'd love to.
So we alluded to it earlier, but Tumblr is full of Jennifer Lawrence red carpet shenanigans.
Oh God.
Just photos of them. Is there anything that like you or your PR people were just like, that was a bad idea?
Well, every day we. Yeah. I wish my publicist were here because she could probably pull up. I don't know. Well, maybe on. I don't know. Was it? Well, I did call Bill Clinton Gil Clinton when I was presenting to him, so that was kind of a. The Meryl Streep moment, probably Golden Globes, when I came up and said I beat Meryl, which I thought everyone would know that was a joke because it's Meryl Streep, and nobody did. Everybody thought that I really went up there and was like, I beat Meryl. So yeah, probably that moment, if I could take that one back. And forgetting to thank the director and Harvey Weinstein at the Oscars, and falling on my face. Yes, there are tons.
Hey, I was wondering what originally drew you to the role of Katniss, and how you think your relationship with the character has changed moving into this next movie.
What originally drew me, I just think it's such a powerful story, and I was really excited to see something that this big, that so many young audiences are drawn to, that's actually important and really it's kind of it's a wonderful message, and I like that, and I love her, and I love what it says about how powerful just one voice can be, and I guess growing with her, it does change a lot because. And it's funny because we can always kind of, I remember reading the first books, I was like 19 and I was going through my first award season for Winter's Bone, and I remember when she first went to the Capitol and I was reading about like being in weird dresses and like not feeling like yourself and hearing people talk around you about stuff that you have no idea about and just being like, what? And then the second time around it gets like a little bit easier, and I could kind of relate to that. A little bit with her, but my relationship with her has changed. I don't know. It's funny how I do continue to get to know, because I've only ever done movies really where other than X-Men, where it's like the movie wraps and that's the end of that character. And I do sometimes have moments where like I'll still think about some things, but some of them just go away forever. But I assumed when I finished the first movie I would have it all understood and I'd basically be bored for the next movies, and I'm so surprised and grateful that that hasn't happened at all, that I do continue to kind of learn new weird things and get excited about things with her. I'm sorry, I'm bad at answering questions.
Hi, so my question is, what was the most physically challenging scene you had to do in Catching Fire, and did you get injured at all?
Francis loves this one because I have never shut up about it since it happened. Yes, I went deaf in one ear for months. I had to, but that wasn't actually physically challenging. It was just ear challenging because I got all these ear infections from the diving in the water and all that stuff, and then a jet from when the cornucopia spins went into punctured my eardrum. But that wasn't, I think that the monkey scene was probably the most physically challenging because we shot it for 7 days and in a swamp, and the fight choreography and having to do that every day after you're sore, and yeah, probably that definitely
Thank
was.
you.
Yeah.
Hi. Thank you for coming to Yahoo today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My question is, who are some of your favorite actresses, and what are some of the things you like about them?
My favorite actresses, I think Cate Blanchett. If anybody's seen Blue Jasmine, I thought that performance, I can't remember being that inspired by a performance. I was like dancing in the streets after I saw that movie, literally dancing in the streets. I thought she was so incredible, and she's just, so probably Cate Blanchett, obviously Meryl Streep, and Charlize Theron, and Gina Rowland. I remember watching A Woman Under the Influence when I was like 19 or 20, and being really, and Mia Farrow. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Some of my favorite.
Yeah.
I hate this one. I always, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Because it's so hard. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Terms of Endearment, Step Brothers. Definitely Step Brothers. I saw Step Brothers 4 times in the theater. I Heart Huckabees. You?
Apocalypse Now, The Godfathers, Raising
yeah.
Arizona. I have to say, of new movies, I mean, I really fell in love with Gravity. I thought Gravity was unbelievable.
Too.
Yeah, unbelievable. So that's probably in my top 10.
Yeah, I love Gravity. Oh, and Star Wars.
And I think we have some more questions.
Hey, I just wanted to know if you've ever played fantasy football.
I'm so sorry, I haven't.
What would it take to get you started?
To play, well, you'd have to teach me how to use a computer, and you'd have to teach me everything about football, or anything about football. And then you'd have to tie me down and tape my eyeballs open and force me to play it.
Let's see what we can do. See what we can do.
Have you ever played it?
Hey, big fan. I'm already sweating. So.
Me too. Both of us are.
Okay.
We were just talking about how much we're sweating.
Right. So, how is it playing 2 different roles of Katniss and Mystique, and you keep switching between them in the movies? And I recently saw the new trailer, Days of Future Past, and you look amazing there again.
Oh, thank
so,
you.
how is it?
It's cool. It's X-Men is this giant movie. I've never, that was like my first studio movie that I ever did when I was 20 years old, and I was like, whoa. I mean, they built a beach. They just brought sand in and palm trees and just made a beach. I think that's crazy. It's just like this, but it's a lot like, you know, the Hunger Games, where it's great to come back and see people that you know, and because movies are always so kind of, it's hard, like the first few days are like the first day of school all over again. So that's always really fun. Hello.
Thank you very much.
Hi there. First of all, thanks so much for coming to, today. As 2 people who are in the public eye, there's obviously a lot of opinions that are made about you guys. What is one thing that you would want to clarify that you think people have gotten wrong about you?
No relation.
Yeah. Wow, people have gotten wrong.
Oh, this is such a good opportunity,
I know,
and I'm
it
afraid
really
I'm going
is.
to totally spoil it because nobody ever asked that, and there's. Well, I would like to, anything that is in the tabloid, this is actually disappointing to me because I used to read tabloids and kind of think like, okay, well maybe it comes from a kernel of the truth. Nothing. They are 100% made up all the time. I've actually never read anything true about me. And even when it has like the piggy bank, it said one time I bought a piggy, that's not one I want to clarify, whatever. I can buy a piggy bank if I want to. But yeah, they just kind of make stuff up. I don't know, I worry more about like, now we're getting deep, we're gonna go into my deep insecurities, but I don't know, I guess it's like that people are so fickle and I guess my main worry is that people will start hating what I hate about myself. I worry that like that I'm gonna be really annoying and everybody's gonna just like want me to shut up, which would make so much sense because like I annoy myself because like I get nervous and I'm like and like I always like before I'm like always like just calm down like because I'm afraid like people are gonna see too much like and then be like calm down. And so I don't know, I guess I'd like everyone to know that if you are annoyed with me, it's totally cool. I get it. I would be annoyed with me too. But please forgive me. I don't know. I'm totally spoiling this moment because I'm sure there have been so many.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any like real misconceptions about me.
No.
I mean,
there
people
was
say
one
that
said
I'm.
I went on a date with John Mayer and I never did.
That's a good one.
But I think I've dated a lot of people.
Yeah.
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 And any other questions?
Hi. Are there any stories or books that you've read that you would like to make it into a movie?
Yes. But it's hard to say because if I say it, somebody could just steal that idea. I did read East of Eden, and somebody I know got the rights to it, so we've talked about making that because East of Eden is my favorite book. So I would like to one day make that possibly. You?
No, I mean, there were other things and books that I wanted to make, but then when I got involved in these projects, I had to let them go because I couldn't sort of hang on to them for 3 years while I made these. But there's a great book by Laura Hillenbrand called Unbroken. That it's an amazing, amazing story that's getting shot right now, actually. But that was something that I really loved.
Hey guys, I was wondering what kind of music y'all have been listening to these days.
I downloaded that new Frank Ocean Orange album. That's awesome. And the new Arctic Monkeys album is also nice. And Jay-Z, I like the Black Keys.
Arcade Fire, got the new Arcade Fire album.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And, oh God, The National. The National's another one that I've been listening to as well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This one is for Jennifer. Do you want to have a drink after this?
Can we play fantasy football? I would love to, but I'm on such a tight schedule. No, I really am. The schedule isn't a lie.
No, I want to thank the two of you. I mean, I think for us, we really value imagination, innovation, and it's a real achievement, the film. And so thank you for inspiring us, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Got so many things. You're gonna break one.
Yahoo!